All right. Hi, everyone.
I,
Good afternoon. Good evening in my place. Welcome, everybody. We're having an AMA tonight with Ladislav from Universe Island. He's the CEO of the project.
everyone.
Um, so, just a bit of information here about Seedify. So, as most of you guys already know, because most of you guys are regularly with us, Seedify is a launchpad for games, which works with a tier system, whereas tier 1 is a lottery system where you have to hold 250 SFUND. For those of you that do not know yet, at the current state, for every IDO in tier 1, there will be 500 winners that can participate in the IDO. Seedify has 9 tiers in total. So that being the first one, there's 8 more tiers, which are all guaranteed allocation. Tier 2 being 1,000 SFUND until tier 9, which is 100,000 SFUND. For those of you lucky enough to be in there, it will give you a great allocation for the IDO of Universe Island. For us, Seedify HODLers, you guys know us. We are the community that supports Seedify all the time. Basically, talking about the projects that are going to be launched, express our opinions about the projects. Also talk about price, because in our group that's possible. So if you're one of those that wants to talk about price all the time, be welcome in our group. If you think it's going to $20 or $10 or $5 or maybe even $50, you can express any price you want. So tonight we are here with Universe Island, and I'm gonna ask Ladislav to introduce himself, explain a bit about his background, and why he decided to start Universe Island. So over to you.
Yeah, great. So thank you, Marcus. And as Marcus said, I'm Liska. I'm a CEO of the Universe Island. A little bit of background. We started this project quite a long time ago. It's actually would be now about 7 months ago. It all started with the idea of NFT market, and during that time we found it's really easy to work with the blockchain. There's many things which we found during this way, how to cooperate on this basics with the blockchain and other things. And yeah, so that's the basics. What I would say first, Universal Islands, it's a 3D shooter mobile game. We are not building any PC version or anything. It's just straight for mobile devices. So that would be the basic, which I would say now.
Okay, thank you very much. I would say let's just dive straight into it and then get to some questions. We're gonna just do a few questions here together. Then at some point we will announce the giveaway, most likely as late as possible, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes before the end or something. So yeah, let's have some good questions tonight, and hopefully there will be a lot of good questions from the community as well. As you guys that are watching have noticed, tonight it's just me again. Like the first AMA we were holding for Seedify back about 4 or 5 months ago. But I'm quite sure that tomorrow or after tomorrow, George or Richard is going to be back. So just starting off here, if you would have to basically express what the universe is about, basically some sort of pitch towards everyone that's watching now or later. About Universe Island, what would you say to convince everyone, okay, this is going to be the game of 2021?
Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned before, it's a free shooter game. We have 3 basic parts of this. The first one is a main one. It's a PvP, 1 versus 1. And in this one, in this one, you are playing against your opponent. And of course, if you will win against your opponent, you will win a small portion of token. The main thing which we have in 1 versus 1 is airdrops, because we have their airdrops from UFO, which is flying around the island 2 times per game. an invisible drop, a loot box. In this loot box, you have chance you will get we call this replica of NFTs. It's just in-game NFTs, or you could get a big portion of tokens. So that's the basics, and that's the main thing of this 1v1. We have two other parts. The second one is open world. For now, it's just basic idea where you could play yourself with NPC. There is some other things which you could do there. There is some shooting mechanisms extra, but in future we would like to make there more metaverse thing. Even now we are trying to build this, but it will come a little bit later, all these things, because we would like to expanding these islands, and you would be able to do much more things. Same with the 1v1, where we would like to do tournaments, and many other things. But for now, we are trying to make it simple, so we would be able to bring the game as soon as possible, because we think that's the thing which is really important. So you would be able to even try it for now. You would be able to say, yeah, I like it. I don't like this. I don't like this, and we would be able to bring in another game things which really people like during this development for us. And the last part of this is as well some sort of small over metaverse, and it's the NFT gallery. In this NFT gallery, many of you already seen this on PC version. These galleries where you could walk through and see your NFTs on all these placeholders, and you are walking through. And of course, these NFTs are from your MetaMask. We are fetching the NFTs from MetaMask. So we will walk through. We will see all over the place your NFTs which you have there. For now, again, it will be just quite simple, so we won't be able to extra expand it. But we would like to at least do the swapping, so we would be able to swap these places where you have these NFTs and all these kind of things. Actually, we have already YouTube from this gallery, which you could see on our Twitter. So yeah, that's the first question.
Okay, that's actually a lot of information, and I have to say at this point I wish I was part of the community, because I have like 3 questions already that I haven't prepared. But so I heard you talking about UFOs as one thing. I heard you talking about the open world, and then I heard you talking about the NFT showplace, basically. Actually, I would like to ask.
I will explain it properly later. So if you have any more questions about this, I will explain it properly, because this was just brief introduction.
Yeah. Let's try to remind those 3 subjects, especially the UFO, the open world part, and the NFT showplace, especially the last one in relation to perhaps AR, for example. That could be an interesting subject. But let's move on first to the comparison part. So we have Universe Island. Currently, I honestly can't keep track of how many blockchain games are launching. So if you look at all those games that are currently there and are also coming, would you say like there's something similar to what you guys are launching?
To be honest, not really. We've seen many projects which are kind of similar, but I think our way how we are building this game, our way of rewards, our way of NFTs, there is not really someone who I could say, yeah, this project is really similar. So I would say no for this.
Okay, that's good. So that means that you guys are entering a niche of the market that would attract a lot of people to Universe Island. That's great. So assuming that a lot of people are going to start on Universe Island, how would you explain to them to enter the game? What do they have to do?
Yes, so we don't want to do the thing which others doing now, where you need to first buy NFT, where you need to first have a token or just anything. We would like to play everyone. We have now 2 ways how to log in, because the first, we have 2 versions of the game. In first one, you could log in just by your MetaMask on mobile phone, but we found this way it's not that very useful for everyone, because not everyone have MetaMask on their mobiles. So the second version of the game which we have, there you could log in just with a login and password. These login and password are generated from our NFT market. So on this on the NFT market, you will log in with your with your MetaMask, and it will generate your ID. Under this ID, you will just wrote your password, and you could use them in game. So there's two ways how this will work. Of course, if you will let everyone play, there is kind of rules which you need to have there in order to not so much people really not so much people, that's fine, but there wouldn't be any cheater, or there wouldn't be anyone who will play on 5 phones though. So there is a couple of rules which we have for this, but I wouldn't explain it for now because it will take a real long time.
Okay, that's fine. So you explained that Universe Island is a shooter game. So where did the inspiration come from? Like, were there other games, like perhaps Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Valorant, that inspired you, or was it purely based on your own mindset? And if you were inspired by other games, could you explain like which parts that you basically implemented in Universe Island as well?
So Universe Island, it's not just from one head. It's all of us who put their experience in this, and they found they like this from all these kinds. So I can't tell you it's one particular game where we take this inspiration. It's many of them, and many others which I will mention now. We will probably don't know. So it's many heads in one, and we put it together. We have even game designers especially to combine all these ideas for us, because if you have 6 people in with many ideas, you need to put them together. So we have game designer who helping with all these things to put together.
Yeah, I guess it's quite normal. I mean, you go through your gaming life. You play one game, you play another game. You see the bad things, the good things, and then you have friends who have done the same thing. They've taken the good things and the bad things, and then realize, okay, let's build something new. Let's try to improve the bad things. Let leave the good things there. And then take the bad things and try to make them better. So actually, one point that you mentioned in the start as the second aspect of your game, the open world part.
Yes.
What is that exactly in a bit more detail? And could you also explain a bit about the metaverse in relation to that, if it's related?
Absolutely. So for now, is this open world? It's a kind of simple idea. We want to expand it much more later, but for now, it's an island where you could play by yourself with these NPCs. We are preparing many traps there, many funny things where you could spend some time. You could train your skills there and other things. But the main idea of this open world is something where you could build your island. For now, we would like, as I mentioned, we are trying to make it simple, so we would be able to bring the game as soon as possible, which I think it's for most of people a really important thing, because you are waiting now a really long time now for new games, some of them even years, which is understandable. If you want to do this in kind of matter, you need to wait for this. But we are trying to make this, split it in the more versions, where we will every version more update, do more things which people already like, because if you will wait for now 6 months and we will bring something what people don't like, we lost that time. If we will bring something simple now, you could play it, you could say, hey, I don't like this one, we are okay with this. It's that's the thing, and we will bring something what the community really like. So that's the idea. And if with excuse me, and with this kind of expansion, you would be able to build your island, expand it. There will be bridges between the islands. You will be able to with invite link. You would be able to send invite link to your friend, show your island, how did you build, and all these kind of things. So that's the idea of this open world.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think it's quite normal. I mean, you don't want to launch a full game on day one. A game needs to have a starting point. A game needs to have a vision, a roadmap. A roadmap that is not just a launch game and then marketing all the time. A roadmap needs to be like we launch one part, and then we launch another part 3 or 6 months later. That's what keeps your game alive, basically. So that's very important. When you look at the metaverse aspect, so would you say that from your perspective, the fact that there are different islands, is that the metaverse idea in your game, or when you're talking about the metaverse, are you morely talking about the fact that you will allow other games to basically allowing players that play other games to bring the NFTs from those games into your game? From which perspective are you approaching the metaverse idea?
So metaverse itself, it's about the building and showing the others, but we are preparing even to use others NFTs. We are trying to implement more things from this side, but again, I wouldn't talk about this too much because I don't want to disappoint anyone later. But we are already preparing the game for other assets from other games.
Okay, that's interesting.
We didn't confirm with any other project now. We already using it, but we didn't confirm anything yet, so I don't want to mention too much about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's all right. So when we're looking at the game itself more in depth, so let the open world and the metaverse side a bit sail for the moment. So you have like infinity design cards in the game, and could you explain a little bit what these cards are and how they are being used?
Yeah. So the basics idea of this, we have five types of rarity. So we have 5 types of rarity, and of course, it's them are just for characters. So you have helmets, gloves, boots, armor, weapons, and all these kind of common things. There's five priority things, and the fifth one is the most rare one. And what I would like to mention, we don't want to sell these NFTs. The only way how you could get these NFTs is by staking your token. So if you will stake a token, you could claim for free, not for free, for you need to pay a fee for network still, but we don't charge anything for this. So you could claim your NFT from this NFT market, and that's the only way how we would like to generate these NFTs. So we are trying to give this power to user to use these NFTs. So we don't want to sell them. We will definitely do some airdrops and other things, but we decide we don't want to do this thing, and we want to give this power to real players, to real community, and that's for us the right way. And of course, and there is another thing. If you will lock these tokens for now we have 1 month lock, 2 month lock, 4 month lock, and 6 months lock. And if you will lock for any of these period, you will every month you will get some extra special NFT, but that's just a lottery. So the first one you will always get. The next, which came later, every month there is just lottery, but these are super rare. Then will be special skills. There will be many things special. These first one which you will get, then will be the basics, not the basic, but they will be the main for the character, and others will be them special things.
Okay, so you just explained a bit about the staking of the tokens and getting NFTs. So could you perhaps add a little bit about if you want to share that information, obviously, about the staking requirements, basically, and let's say, for example, I'm staking. I'm just mentioning a number. I'm staking 10,000 tokens. What would that mean for me? Like, let's say I stake 10,000 tokens for 6 months.
How we are trying to build this is a minimum where you get NFTs. You could stake token for $1, but you will not get NFT. NFTs you will start getting from $50 and more. The minimum staking is 1 month. So let's say you will stake $50 on 1 month. The first NFT you will get in that moment when you stake the token. So we will stake the tokens, and you will click a button where you have claimed. You will claim your NFT. That's the first thing. Then after 1 month, we are playing a lottery, and in this lottery you have chance win another very special NFT. So that's the win.
Okay, I understand. So that is for staking 1 month. So that will be the lottery. Now, how if I stake for 6 months? Do I get more NFTs on day one?
Yeah. So if you will stake this token for 6 months, you have chance. The first NFT which you will get will be rarer than the for 1 month, and then every 1 month you have much bigger chance to get these special NFTs.
Okay, makes sense. So those NFTs, you mentioned the types. I believe you mentioned gloves, armor, weapon, boots. Apologies, I don't remember the fifth one. But are those upgradable, or you speak a little bit about rarity? Does that mean that those NFTs are upgradable, or could you explain a bit about that?
So for now, them are unfortunately not available, but we are really playing with this idea. We love this idea because it's many games. Oh, not many games, but some of them already have it, and we love it. And we are playing with this idea, and we would definitely like to have this feature. But I'm not. I can't tell you now if when it will came and if it will really came. But we are really talking about this, and we would like to have this feature there.
Okay. That's interesting. So just looking at the perspective from new players and let's call it veteran players for now. Let's say I jump in from day one because I already know you guys. I buy 10,000 tokens. I start staking, get my NFT, lock in for 6 months, start playing. And then after 3 months, my friend wants to join as well. Also buys 10,000 tokens. Also locks in for 6 months. Could you give a bit of a comparison between my position and his position? Obviously, I feel like I'm the more longer person in there, so I want an advantage. But he feels like I also want to become just as good as you. So could you explain a bit about the relationship?
Absolutely. So your main advantage would be that you are already played this game and you are better in that game. But the thing which we have even extra on this layer is that we have levels there, and every level you will get kind of rewards. Most of these rewards would be just, we call this a replica of NFTs because them are just in game. So we will be rewarded most of the time just with these replica of NFTs for each of these levels. Plus, when you reach some kind of level, we will start giving the real NFTs, plus tokens, plus more things. So it will be all these things which will help you and which will try to keep you in this ecosystem and help you with all these things. So there will be not just your skills which you have better, but you will already during this time you was being given many rewards which will help you to be even better for in game.
Okay. So I understand here that there are in-game NFTs and also not in-game NFTs because they're not NFTs, in-game items, and yes. There are NFTs basically. Okay, maybe someone from the community will ask. Yeah, go ahead. No, go for it.
It's pretty similar as the NFTs, but these are just in-game. You could buy them in-game, but them are again just in-game. Them are not related to blockchain. If you want to real blockchain, you need to stake your token or buy them from aftermarket. So you could buy them on our market if someone decides to sell them.
Okay. So let's assume I'm holding an NFT now from the staking, or I won one from the lottery. Let's say a really good one, and I want to trade it to my friend, or I want to sell it to someone that I do not know. How is that possible within Universe Island?
So we have NFT market, and our NFT market is just for our contracts. So on our NFT market, you could be sure there is always legit NFT because we don't allow to other contracts. We are just build our NFT market just for our contracts. Okay. You could see on your you could see on your profile all your NFTs which you have on your MetaMask, but we won't be able to sell them, buy them, to do any auctions or anything with them. So all these things which you could buy or sell or do anything, transfer or anything, will be only legit and will be always ours.
Okay. Now I have one more question about, in my perspective, one of the hottest things right now in blockchain gaming, which is basically about utilization of NFTs. Like a man needs to sleep, like you sleep, I sleep, and then my NFT wants to be active, make money. Could you explain a bit about whether there are possibilities within Universe Island to let other people use an NFT that I own?
Unfortunately, no, we don't have this feature.
Okay. So you have to connect to some projects that allow for that feature.
It's possible you could do this way, or if there will be definitely pressure from community to do this, we would be happy to do this for. But so far, actually, you are first one who's asking about this.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the token here, from the NFT to the token itself. You mentioned that the tokens need to be staked for NFTs. Is there any other utility to the token in the game, or perhaps even outside of the game?
Yeah, so the first, I would say the main things is, as we mentioned, this staking. We have even in-game recognize. So if you will be holder as a staker, or if you have just tokens, you will be recognized in game. So above your name will be some. We have for now we have your name, and it's always have a different number, if different color. Excuse me, different color. So if you have more tokens, the color will be as well different. So that's the in-game recognize for token holders. Of course, there is governance. We have in-game purchases. We have. Of course, you need to have energy in game. So so there is no way someone will play it for 12 hours in a row. And of course, you could pay with your tokens in NFT market. So that's the basics, I would say.
Okay. So you just mentioned a bit about the fact that if you are holding more tokens, that it will look different in the game. Does this also mean that there is going to be some sort of leaderboard?
Not yet. We are working on leaderboard for other things. It's possible we will add there even this thing, but you will be always recognize someone who has got many tokens in his MetaMask wallet by the color of his name.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna have one more question before we move to the community questions. Perhaps one of the most important questions, actually, for a lot of people. So they want to feel secure, not only for privacy, but also for their assets, basically. They buy tokens, they put them in the game, they use your smart contracts. So what are you doing to make the people feel secure within your game?
Yes, so we have now already token contract audited, and it's been audited by a company called Armor. We are waiting for second audit for this token, and it will be from company Haken. We already paid it, so we are just waiting for them when they finish it. Excuse me. And as well, staking contract. We are finishing staking contract, so when it will be ready, of course, it will be audited, same as basically all of these contracts will be audited at least one times. For tokens, we want to just one very soon one, because Haken is quite busy for now, but we will have both of them. So we have already from Armor, and second one we will have from Haken.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, cool. All right, I'd say we move on to the community questions first for now. I do have, I believe, a secret code to announce, but let's just hold on with that one for a while. Let's just move on to the community questions first for now, and then let's put the secret code out a little bit later. So Rajesh, one of our most active community members on YouTube, is asking, you say free to play. Will this create differences with players who spend money in the game if they are more powerful, and how will they compete?
The thing is, these replica of NFTs, There's 5 types of rarity. These replica of NFTs will be replica of NFTs only in first and second layer. So then free another you will get only in real NFTs. So that's the thing. And of course, you as a player, you could choose to buy these energy. You could buy these in game token. So there is always something which will give you something extra. We don't want to do. It's not something really high extra. We are adding for this for these token holders, for these NFT holders and other things, but it's still something need to be there in order to make them special, make them a little bit better. It's in percentage, it would make only a very small portion of this extra layer there. Hope it's make a little bit sense.
Okay, thank you for explaining. I hope Rajesh was also happy. There's Sebastian. Are you guys building the game on Unity? And did you use any presets from the Unity asset store?
We are building in Unity, and so far I am not sure. I don't think we used any of them, and if it will be some really basic one, because we are building our databases, we are building basically everything ours. So I don't think so. We have there anything, and if there, it will be just maybe 1 or 2 small things, nothing really big.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's move on to the next question. If you have from Sean. Okay, I've seen him a couple days before as well. Actually, that's a good question. I think it refers to the third point that I wanted to mention as well about the NFT showcase. But let's just stick to his question for now. Will it be in AR and VR like other metaverse projects?
So we are in contact with one project who already succeed on this, and we are in contact with them. So we would like this, but it depends when it will all come, because this implementation and all these things, it takes a little bit time. But we are in quite close contact with them, and we are trying to do this in small way, but in smart way, how to implement it for us to make it work for us.
Okay. So just before we move on to the next question, as the third thing you mentioned in the start at the 2-minute introduction was about the way to show off your NFTs in the game. You were fetching the data from MetaMask, and it shows the NFTs in the game. If you look at, for example, an example as Fifi app. Fifi app, they sell those NFTs from those famous movie brands, comic brands, etc. They have this function in their application. You can put your NFTs there, and then it allows for some AR integration. Do you have something similar in mind with your NFT show room?
So at some point, yes, but not for now. Yeah, it will be kind of thing, but it's for a longer time to really properly explain it to this. But yeah, it's kind of this thing.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's move on to the next question. Oh, there we go. From GovDD, what do users need to play the game? Oh, you answered that one, I think. But do they need characters, weapons? And if the given ability of the NFT gap is too big, okay, I'm not quite getting this one. If the given ability of NFT gap is too big, players can overcome the gap of given ability of NFT. Do you understand what that one?
Absolutely, yeah. So there is always need to be this balance between these things, these who has got these NFTs and who doesn't have. So that's the reason why we use in game these replica of NFTs, where you could make this balance smaller. So because if you will be a good player, if you will play every day, you will have many of these replica of NFTs. So there will not be that huge gap between you as a holder of a replica of NFT and the real NFTs one. There will be still different. There must be different, but we was balance it really well. So I think you would be happy with this.
Okay, cool. All right, do we have any more questions here? Actually, I'm just gonna. Okay, Sebastian is asking, you guys have a single in-game token. How do you plan to avoid instances of treasury depletion as seen in previous games? Very good question. What's your answer to that?
So definitely. So if you have a look on our white paper, we have game rewards properly explained because these gaming rewards was being done in MATLAB, which is software where you could try all these simulations. So in this document you could see all these simulations which we made for 9 years. And as I mentioned, the first thing how you could get these tokens is by it's win against your opponent. But these tokens, it's extremely small portion. It's basically very nothing. The main thing is there you have a chance to win these gaming rewards from loot box, and in this loot box you have some kind of chance, and this chance is properly explained in the document which I just mentioned. And so to make it simple for you now, it will be during first year there will be only 2.6% of all tokens in circulation. So we are more focused on chances you could win this game than actually winning game for every task. So that's a kind of different where you could use where it's more useful for you to use single token than dual tokens.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next one. I see a lot of questions popping up. Wolf of Small Street. Which platforms will the game launch on, and will it be cross-platform gameplay?
So for now, it will be Binance Chain, but we would like to definitely implement more, and our developers they are talking about it basically every day. They would like to add more layers for this, but for now you could count on Binance Smart Chain.
Okay, so just to confirm, the game is going to be launched on Binance Smart Chain. Okay, thank you. Next question here. The NFT works for upgrade the equipment, not the character.
It's updating a status of the character, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's not for upgrading the equipment because, in my opinion, the NFT is the equipment. Correct? Yeah. All right. Okay, so. All right. So they're asking if there's any burning mechanism, but for what I have seen, you already have a fixed token cap, if I'm not mistaken. How much is actually? We haven't asked what is the fixed amount of the token? What's the total supply? Before we continue.
100 billion.
100 billion. Okay. So actually, for everyone that's watching, the fact that there is a token cap is already deflationary by definition. If the game is creating demand for the token, you don't need the burning mechanism. But just to answer this question, do you have plans for a burning mechanism?
No, we don't want, because it's as you explained.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next one here. So there's someone asking whether we can access the game with hardware wallet, but you explained that one. People log in with their hardware wallet basically, and then they create an account which will be linked to each other, and then they will get a login detail, a password to log in. All right, Sebastian here again. What's your plan for the long term?
So for long term, as I mentioned, we would like to expand all these ideas, especially for 1 versus 1, because that's the main thing. And in this, we would like to do tournaments, add more people, and expand it in a whole way. It's based even on the open world, which I think could be another main thing there. Even the NFT gallery, which we have now. It's all these things are just basics for now, and we would like to explain all this idea of this much more. We would like to make even some more things on NFT market and many other as well. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm just going to translate one of the questions here before it's being popped up. So we've spoken a bit about the token utility. Obviously, staking is one of them. So as I mentioned, if you have a fixed token cap, that by definition is deflationary. However, it also means that obviously you need to increase the demand of your game token by drawing in more people to your game. So the game needs to be attractive, then more people will come, your token will be in demand because they want to go staking. So that is one way to make your token deflationary. But do you have other motivations, incentives for people to, besides that staking, to hold on to the token?
So on this explain properly.
That's okay. Take your time. There's no stress here. Maybe you can say one sentence in your own language first, just to get rid of the tension, and then continue in English.
So no worry. So as you mentioned, so all these tokens which you will spend in game, them are coming to different budget which will be kept for a long time. So that's the thing, and we are not focused on, we are focused on chances. So we don't need to add more tokens, because you still could win, for example, tokens for 1K, but you have different chance to win these tokens for 1K. So that's the kind of thing which we have different, because we are focused on probability you could get these tokens. And if token price go higher, it will not be token for 1K. It could be for more or less. It's depend, but that's the way how this all work.
Okay. Perhaps we have another question from Wolf of Wall Street here. I've seen this one coming up a few times now in the question. So, are you going to support mobile platforms? I believe you already answered that earlier in the AMA tonight, but perhaps you can repeat it again. And also, as a multiplayer game, will people from all these platforms be able to play together?
We have Android and iOS, and of course you could play on both of them.
Okay. How will you solve the large community issues? All right, so platforms get laggy with huge numbers of players. So how are you dealing with this? Different instances or different servers?
Yeah, so it's a really good question actually. And for example, now we have servers just in Europe, which is something which you can't have in full game. So we are now getting bigger and bigger servers, and you need to have them all over the world to make it work properly. And of course, more people will joining. We will add more servers. It's not kind of issue. It's just you need to just add more servers, because more people will play. As you are saying, if we will use some just in Europe for now, it will be really bad. So you need to have servers all over the world to make it good for everyone. And of course, if it will be high demand for this game, many people will be playing. We will buy more servers all over the world.
Okay. Thank you very much. So there's another one from Sean. This is already answered. Actually, you already mentioned that the game is going to be an open world or just limited maps, but you were talking about open world, different islands. So that question has already been answered. I've been scrolling myself to the questions, so I'm just seeing one. What's the unique feature about the game? But I think we've had that in like the first 3 minutes of this AMA, where you did your pitch about the game. So if I'm looking at the questions right now, okay, this is maybe interesting. How many fictional characters are there in the game? So I think this person is referring to the type of characters.
Yes, so we have now 4 of them, and maybe 2 of them as NPCs. But during the time, of course, we would like to add more characters, but there will not be definitely, for example, 100 characters, because you need to imagine every character which we will make. It's mean they need to work with all armors, all helmets, and other things which we already made before. So it's kind of lots of work on this. So we would like to add more characters definitely, but it will not be, for example, 100 of them, and we will not use them as NFTs. So they will come time after time.
Okay, understandable. I think we should stop with the community questions for now. I think everyone's waiting for the secret code, so I think I'll have to give it to them. You know, I can't keep it for myself. So perhaps Sebastian can put it in the screen now, so everyone can fill out the gleam. There you go, everyone. For those who are waiting or asking. just one last question. I hope everyone writes it down fast, so we'll pop it up again if it's necessary over the next 5 minutes or so. As mentioned before, we will be able to build out islands. Does this mean that there will be land sales, and will we be able to build on our plots of lands?
So yeah, we are preparing already now that you will be able to sell these islands. You will be able to build these islands, but again, it will definitely come later. But we are already working on this. So.
All right, let's stop with the questions. I think everyone still has 100 more questions, but we have to stop somewhere. So just going back to you, Ladislav. Looking back at the questions we had quite a few actually. I'd say we had almost like 40 or 50 perhaps. So looking back at the questions, do you feel like, okay, I want to add something to these questions, or I feel like, okay, I might have worded this in the wrong way, I would like to change that, or even not looking back at the questions, you feel like, okay, I really want to add this to the community?
Okay. No, actually, no, I don't want to do this.
Okay. Let's stick to English then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I want to thank you for being here tonight with me with this AMA. You did a wonderful job. The questions were great. The answers were really good. So I think everyone that was here watching has a good view about Universe Island now. Obviously, we want to ask everyone that's watching now and later to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, but most likely you weren't here if you didn't subscribe. So, but if you haven't, just subscribe. Say thanks to our guest here, Ladislav, for being here with us as a CEO. It's very busy just before the launch and IDO and listing, so it's very good to see that he made time to be here tonight with us. So yeah, once again, thank you for being here with us. Also, Sebastian in the back, thank you for helping us to pop up all those questions and organize the whole stream and hosting and everything. So yeah, from my side, thank you everyone, and have a good night.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.